Alrighty. So, the actual reading with Madame Eva was kind of a unique little happening. This is one of those instances where you all see a little bit of the brighter side of what the Vistani are. They are very um, the adventuring party walked in during some sort of celebration of sorts, effectively a large bonfire and a group of people dancing, making music, and all around just being happy and merry people. The party would walk into this each with a little bit more and less hesitation than the others. Um, Darcy being greeted with a bottle of whiskey, um, or my bad, Rin being greeted with a bottle of whiskey. I believe Edwin was kind of brought right into the actual circle and was given a tambourine, started to play music and dance with the actual group going in the circle. And Koopa would kind of be like joined by a small child who curiously wanted to kind of bring him into the actual celebration, noticing somebody who was kind of like hanging out on their own. And it kind of gives you that like sense of that was almost like a failure on their part if you were allowed to stay outside of this celebration kind of thing. It was supposed to come off as that like good Zinnia, as like bringing you in to be a part of this, wonderful kind of like festival feel. Um, but within a few moments, as kind of the conversation passed by between Koopa and the small little child, it became clear that Koopa had come here for this reading to see Madame Eva, and with kind of the mention of her, the Vistani kind of stopped everything, kind of joining into a moment of silence. They would be questioned into this idea of if you've come here for a reading for our travelers, you should go into, and they kind of point off this one singular tent that's the largest of them all. Some of the most gaudy and like bright, brilliant coloring, and kind of walking into this tent was its own little experience as the different flows of incense smells and just your senses are kind of like exploding all around you. The group would be brought in, hearing a little voice at first, presenting a table with 7 spots before you. This person would slowly become more and more visible as they started to interact with the players. It was a very mystical experience. This person clearly knew all of your characters far too in depth, asking for very particular items from you that have meaning to present them out onto the table where they almost made like the rays of the sun kind of coming out from this crystal ball that she had in the center of this table. And she would eventually begin the reading. You all can see the actual Taroka reading under your players' handouts, tarot readings, underneath the journal, and you can see Madame Eva's reading. That will always give you access to the actual script of it, so you can do a quick little like read over your clues, because again, these are effectively the clues to this campaign. Among other things, though, is I posted a few different videos. One, just the whole video. I think that's what Rodney, you had said you had started watching. That's just the entire video. That was the normal video that I do for these. And then I did the shortened version, which is the whole kind of interaction in the Vistani camp. I think that was like a half hour. And then the actual reading itself, I think is like an 8-minute video. Um, any of those would be good to experience. If you have 8 minutes, watch the 8-minute one. If you've got a half hour, experience the whole Vistani camp. Um, The whole episode is kind of like, if you ever like keep up with those when you miss something, the whole episode's still good to keep up with. But I try to do the truncated ones for the tarot reading because it is so important to have in mind. Um, but the reading itself begins with the Seven of Discs, failure in Netzach, the conditions of earthly life. And it says, look to the crossroads of life and death, find what is buried among the dead. The second of the cards is the Three of Cups, abundance and Bina, future of love. Look to the pool of lovers to the west. The water contains the blessed light of the white star Delban. And then the third card, the Six of Swords, science in Tifereth, invulnerability in the sword's rose-tipped cross. Beneath the bones of the blackened bones, I definitely feel like that's a typo on my end. The Mad Dog's Mausoleum, created of intellect, science in swords. And then the third card is Lust, the Lion of Teth, joy and desire, the prison and death, the doom of those who died and remain trapped in many bodies. The woman gives the cup of life, the impregnated womb. Seek the daughter, death's ally. Her fate is in the balance. The womb of water will give her new life or prevent her death. And then Hierophant, the cosmic law governed in Va, the heart of a child, dominion through will, the cosmic principles, where the mother lies, so too will you find the fate of the future. So those are the 5 clues that the adventurers kind of have moving forward here. In kind of the moments that everything went through, there were clear distinctions between Menem Eva just kind of carrying on a conversation with the adventurers, and then when the actual shuffling of the cards presented the proper card, she would go into a deeper trance where she would repeat these words. So it should have been relatively clear to everyone that Menemeva is a mouthpiece, not necessarily knowledgeable. Um, when the reading was kind of finished, she came back at least a little bit clueless about what the reading was for. Again, a kind of a reference to, this was a private reading for you, the party. For Menemeva, she doesn't necessarily know what she told you. Um, but kind of as everything kind of wrapped up, I feel like one person asked the question and her response was basically, what do you mean the Six of Swords kind of thing? Again, a reference to the fact that like it wasn't her who was giving this reading. She's a mouthpiece for something else. Um, and I think they kind of finished up there. I want to still pick up inside of the Vistani camp if you all have any interest in trying to ask any other questions of the Vistani. Otherwise, realistically, if you guys decide to, they technically slept the night away. If you all decide to kind of just continue forward, we're actually going to then jump right into leveling into level 4, and we will pick up that next morning with the whole party. So, mostly for those who were absent last week, but including those who were there, does anybody have any questions before we kind of like move forward?
I also missed the week prior. So is there anything um, other than what is in the recap that I should know?
We did a lot of battling, Debbie. Like a very intense battle for almost the entire session.
Yeah, I think the week prior was, yeah, it was that kind of 60 seconds in Barovia. It basically started with the group walking out of the Blood on the Vine. A little bit of shit went down as we kind of introduced Rin, like kind of walking out of the mist more mysteriously. And then that honestly, it took up the kind of entirety of the session, as that was an extremely deadly battle. That would be where Ramen fell and died. And at this point, Debbie would be at least relatively aware that Sinmorn is quite a bit stronger than you are, Debbie. How much Sinmorn has shared about why they are so strong is a different story.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
But like the technically the start of that episode kind of began with Edwin walking out of the bar, basically like following everybody downstairs after you all slept. And Edwin, turned around for 5 seconds kind of thing and walks out behind everybody. And you see like Ramen torn to shreds, like on the ground, zombie body parts all over the place. It was like basically less than 60 seconds passed in what was effectively that like 3 hour session.
Oh, I'm sad I missed that.
So are we.
So Brennan just asking, it seems like there's a couple different places that stuff went down last week. What happened in Barovia, the town, and then when did the rest seems like it was all in the camp in the reading, correct? It was kind of two main locations.
Yeah, there was a little bit on the road, but most of the happenings was definitely between Barovia and the camp. One thing from the previous session is when Ramen died, it was kind of convenient to bring Tony in as Ismark, to give him somebody to kind of finish up the combat. So when we began, Ismark was already with the group, kind of defending them inside of the town of Barovia. So that was not necessarily meant as a railroad, that kind of did force you all towards the actual Burgomasters, but it did very quickly kind of gather this idea behind like Ismark's basically saying, you all should get off the streets by like now, like come back to my house, join me. So there was kind of that level of that was the two little like spots in Barovia where it happened, right outside of the Wizard of Wines. There was a quick trip to the actual house of the Burgomaster, and then when you go to bury his father, everybody returned to the church. I think that's when you return then to his house to pick up Arena, who is Sophia, who is Tatiana, and they left town. So realistically, those are kind of like the 4 locations where things happened. So if everyone is feeling all caught up, um, part of the reading is that's where you kick off the milestone for level 4. So having the reading in hand, everybody is welcome to level up their characters. If you all plan to do the classes you currently are, you can roll another hit die for that class. I think Theo might be the only multi-class right now. Theo, do you know, are you doing fighter or bard?
I think I'm gonna do like I will go with bard, like leveling up my bard. I'm gonna try and keep my levels even in those.
Jim, can you roll another d6? You'll take the 4 there.
So, question for you, Mara. trying to choose a feat of lucky, and I don't see that in the drop down. Is that not available to my character?
It should be. I see it. I don't know why it's not showing up for you. That is bizarre.
My feats weren't looking right, so I took additional intelligence and dexterity. It was weird. Like all of the ones that I had access to said this cannot be chosen; it has to be given to you. And that was the weird homebrew stuff with like a Yeti feat.
Yeah, those
I'm
look like
looking
all of the
through.
customs.
Yeah, I'm looking through my feat options, and so far every single one of them is this is not a feat.
I am born of Yetis.
Yeah, I also had some Yeti stuff, and I was Googling it, and it was not bringing anything up.
There should be no reason that it doesn't include the regular feats. I don't understand why that is, but it shows them for me.
And do we have noble sacrifice also in this game?
I might have just never added it for Rin. I think everybody else has it on their characters.
No, I have it here in this game. I was just wondering if noble sacrifice was something that we had here too.
Yeah, I started it with all of my games at the same time.
Well, it has the metamatic magic adept for feats. I had already chosen it at 3. But littlest Yeti or firearm specialist. None of these. Well, maybe I'll play my wizard from Texas and then make it like a firearm specialist. That could be my backstory for this one.
Firearms don't exist in my world, so I would probably not choose firearm specialist.
Well, it's on your list.
That sounds like some Tasha shit. I
Quick
don't
question.
understand that.
I have a quick question. By this time, will I have had a full rest, like a long rest? I mean,
Yeah, technically, regardless, we're about to pick up here from a long rest.
cool. Just wanted to adjust my hit points accordingly.
Oh yeah, so does that mean I have gained back all the hit points I lost to the rug?
Yeah, you have indeed.
Sick.
Honestly, the rug beating you up reminded me of the scene in Doctor Strange where the cape beats up that bad guy.
Yeah, I actually watched, I don't know, one of the movies with Doctor Strange recently, and it was a little triggering.
Oh no, poor Debbie.
We're making it back though.
Mara, if I just pick the ability score improvement, and for now, because I can't seem to pick normal feats, could I like switch that back in the future if we're able to add the normal feats back in?
If you all know what feats you're looking at, I can put those in for you. I would rather, if you all are looking at feats, to not take the ability score right now.
So instead of taking the ability score, I just multi-class with cleric.
Mara, so I just rolled a D8. Am I going to be? I just want to make sure. Do I have to do 1 or 2 rolls for the hit points here?
It's always one. I feel like a paladin is a D10 though.
Great, because my last roll was crap, and my one for my last level was crap before that.
And then
I'm
what?
gonna take the lucky feat if you can give that to Kappa.
All right, and Mara, so it's been a while since we've leveled up. I'm adding the 7 in a certain box so I don't mess up the actual hit points. It's in the different section.
I think it's in the rolled hit points section.
Yep. Under your class, when you choose to like level up and everything, you can click the modify hit points or whatever in the top right.
Yeah, it's
You should
manage
see the
HP.
rolled hit points. If you reload Kappa, you should see lucky. And that will still give you another feat choice as well, because that's your variant human choice.
Oh, I get another feat as well.
You should have 2 choices as a level 4 cleric. Which you could still do the ASI as well. So I think right now, Debbie, are you doing another level in Barbarian?
Yes.
Can you roll a D12? And then Rin, are you doing a level in Wizard?
No, I think I'm going to take. I think I'm going to subclass with a fighter. So what do I roll for my AC? Or do I?
You don't get anything for your AC, but for hit points, you can roll a D10.
Sick.
All right. I should be down as Hector. I got my hit points set up. I went for 1 more dexterity and 1 more charisma.
I think I'm actually going to circumvent the feat thing entirely by multi-classing.
I just want to confirm, Mara. You said I would get that feat plus 1 ASI or both points?
Well, technically, an ASI gives you access to a feat if you choose not to take the points, but that's what they basically mean. If you're using feats, you can take a feat or you can take the 2 points.
Gotcha.
So if I'm taking a level of fighter, my hit dice go up to d10s, so should I reroll that?
Yeah, in the future, if you're gonna multi-class, I do want you to like know that you're doing it before you roll, but you can roll a d10.
Well, I rolled a 2, so you don't have to worry about any cheese.
So how's everybody looking here?
I think I should be set. You can take a look, but yeah, I added the hit points that I got, which was 6. And then yeah, just pick my spells basically.
Yeah, same. I'm good to go.
I'm ready.
So from within the Vistani camp, you all are looking to head off into the west. The Kolyanas were vaguely asking that you take Arena to Kresk, which is quite far down the Old Svalich Road, a few days' travel into the west. But you all are currently at Sayre Falls. What do you have in mind as you kind of gather up your things that next morning?
This is west of Strahd's Castle, correct? So Sayre Falls that's Strahd's Castle to the east of us.
Yeah, it's essentially like kind of almost directly north of you, but vaguely east as well.
I'm kind of curious if there might be anybody at the camp that might trade in goods and things like that. I imagine they're like a nomadic people, so they probably, go back and forth. And I remember the women back at the tavern saying that they go back and forth to the earthly plane to kind of deal back in Waterdeep. So curious if there might be someone here who trades. Specifically looking for maybe some powdered silver and iron.
Roll a d100. Searching around, you eventually find one of the people here who is indeed able to sell you silver or iron, neither of which are powdered, but that's something that you could manage with a little bit of time.
Sounds good to me. Go up and just say, hey, friend, I've heard from just talking around camp that you might have some silver and iron to sell. Um, I mean, what could I get for, let's say, 5 gold pieces?
And just how much are you looking for? Do you need an equal part of silver and an equal part of iron? Or do you need more of one than the other?
Um,
Effectively, that is me asking you. You can't hide what you're asking from me, otherwise I can't give it to you. So what are you
Yeah.
trying to do?
I'm trying to do protection from good or evil. It seems like I probably need equal parts, right? It just says powdered silver and iron.
Yeah, so he'll sell you a trade bar of iron, and then he can sell you, it'll effectively be like a gold worth of iron and 4 gold worth of silver, like 40 pieces of silver and a, like, what is that, like a 15-ounce trade bar of iron.
Okay, so 15-ounce trade bar iron and then uh, gold's worth of silver.
I feel like I said that wrong. It's 40 pieces of silver, which is 4 golds worth of silver. And then it would be about 40 ounces of iron in the trade bar. So I think trade bar was correct because it's usually like a 5-pound trade bar.
Sounds good to me. I'll just toss him a coin purse full of 5 gold pieces. Say thank you for your kindness. And may the Lord of Light bless you.
Now, Hector having slept at the camp out of exhaustion after so much fighting and missed the whole reading, and just ask, this reading last night, what was the most crucial thing we learned that you think will help us on our quest and drive us forward? Hector kicks some people sleeping, make sure they're awake.
What does everybody think the most crucial thing is that you learned?
It's Cuppa. I'd say one important thing I learned is never glare at Strahd. And then we should probably keep moving. The sooner we get to where we're to Kretch, the safer we'll be.
Do you think Strahd is still watching us today, or every day, in this cursed place?
I think Strahd's watching us every second.
I agree. Then let's keep moving.
What a voyeuristic creep.
And Raymond's no longer with us. Remind me what's the new name?
Cuppa,
Kappa. Where did you say we should get going to?
we were headed towards Kretch, I believe, a city in the far east on the old Slavic road.
Just check real quick. Is everybody on the map page right now? Or are you still on the Vistani camp little, like, picture I have?
I'm on the map.
Yeah, I can see the map.
Alright, my bot is stuck on the Vistani page. It happened in one of the last games I played. I just wanted to make sure.
So we're right about here. We did get a copy of the map from Ismark as well. And then I believe we're trying to get up to here.
Seems like a long road. As Hector looks at the map, if we vote to get moving, I believe we should move now.
Let's just go.
Agreed.
So everyone is all set and prepared to leave the Vistani camp?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Between, I think, Debbie and Ali, can the two of you roll survivals? So as you all progress forward, off on this kind of like vaguely there, vaguely not trail, into the switchbacks that start to lead up towards the peaks of Sare Falls and rejoining the actual Old Svalich Road, where you cross the old bridge into what is very much the view of Ravenloft. Everybody kind of is moving a little bit slow. Maybe it was the liquor, maybe it was the alcohol. It could be that the Vistani are still playing music, but the two leaders of your group are both kind of in that little, like, almost just keeping their heads turned backwards, looking back towards at least a little bit of a camp where life is a little bit easier with the Vistani. And there's a certain level of comfort that's just kind of sitting off behind you. And it takes a good bit longer than it should, even for what it is, like with how steep of a climb this is and how high you're walking into the mountains from this camp. But over the next few hours, you all will make your way to the bridge. Once again, kind of looking off in this area, you can see the old Svalich Road winding off kind of north and west of where you are now. You can see Ravenloft perched on the actual hilltop to the east of you all. And this is going to be one of those moments where you know which way you have to go. There's only one road to get there, and you just kind of have to make it to those gates, as before. But when you all are prepared to move off here, let me do another round of survivals from Debbie and Rodney. But otherwise, you all can kind of march across this a little bit more barren of a no man's land ahead of you. So this portion goes a little bit better. As you kind of push off into this area, you're able to kind of cut across different little bits of like this open countryside, doing what you can to keep yourselves more and less blocked off from the view of the castle above, and making your way across kind of this open country here. You're constantly heading towards that same gate, and the image of these massive warriors who are at present seemingly barring your way from leaving the view of Ravenloft. Let me get a perception from the whole group here.
One second. I'm using a new browser window, so I don't have the extension. Let me just load up the other browser quick.
All good. Did it roll for you in D&D Beyond? Can you just tell me what you rolled?
Yeah, it was a very low perception. It was like a 2.
All good. So as you all kind of come up in this last little part on your way into this gate, you will see these knights standing high above you, guarding two sides of this door. And as you approach closer and closer, it's going to become apparent that there is a way through these doors. It's an awkward feeling that you are being watched as you approach them. And kind of at one of the last little moments, looking back behind, Ali is going to kind of see that one of these like flagstones that these knights are set upon seems to have a little bit of color kind of to it, and with a double take you're going to notice that there seems to be a folded dress just kind of sat on the side of one of these large stones, and it's just kind of like an ochre red and a kind of soft like blue that seems to be folded up, some sort of linens on kind of the foot of one of these pedestals.
Do you all come here? Look at this. There's a dress over here on this pedestal. What do you make of it?
So if you take a few moments to unfold it and take a look at it, let me get a investigation from you. Looking over it, seems to be kind of rather typical peasant's clothing of sorts. It just seems to be like a ochre red blouse and a long kind of like ankle length blue dress. Um, it looks new. It doesn't show any signs of wear. There doesn't appear to be any stains. The fact that it's sitting out here in nature makes it seem all the more out of ordinary. But as far as things go, with like a quick little look over this, looks like some farmers kind of clothing.
And just curious, are these like crows overhead or like these ravens?
At most given any time, you are going to have signs of blackbirds overhead.
I have passive perception and passive investigation. Um, with 13 and 15, do I see anything?
In general, your passives are for when I am not telling you about something to see if you see it. If I'm actively asking for rolls, the passives are not doing anything.
Oh, okay.
I'll hand off the dress to like another member of the party to see, what they make of it. In the meantime, I'd like to actually see if I could speak with one of these ravens overhead to see if they might know where this came from. I'll use speak with animals. So I'll just call out, "Excuse me, bird," and to the rest of the party, it just sounds like. But yeah, I'm just saying, "Excuse me, we found some clothes down here from up there. Did you happen to see anybody come by this area recently and drop these clothes off, or even come to the gate at all?"
You are going to hear in response, over and over again, gate, 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 gate. And everybody else will hear just crows crowing.
They didn't know anything.
Shoot. If nobody else is interested in taking a closer look at the dress, can I hold on to it for like our next dinner party?
You know, I think you would look really good in it, Debbie.
I think so too. It's my color.
It really goes with your eyes.
Should we keep moving forward? Do you want to pass through these gates, or do we have a choice? It seems like the last time we came through some gates, we found the mist, and we're starting to be funneled.
You still have a solid sense wherever you go, the mist is still within sight in all directions. That feeling of the mist is telling you where to go never goes away here. You will always have that sense in any direction. You can always see the mist. The only direction that it's never there is always Ravenloft. You can always see Ravenloft.
If possible, I'd like to go up to the gate and kind of see just like if there might be any kind of levers, or can the gate just be opened by pushing it?
When you approach the gate, the doors are going to start to open.
All right, well, that was easier than I thought. Should we continue on, or with this gate and like the huge wall, there's like not any rooms or nooks or anything like that that we get into that are visible? Or are there, I should say?
It's more of like an actual freestanding gate with bars than it's like a castle keep, and then kind of like a black fence of cast iron that kind of extends along it. This is another point where it's perhaps more that you see there's a funneling effect being done here. There's two ways to approach Castle Ravenloft, through the west gate and through the east gate.
I'm just gonna
say we
look at
continue.
Debbie, nod my head forward, and say, "Can you go first?"
Trudging on. Enter the gate.
What was Hector thinking?
We're ready to continue. You know, I was just looking with Ali. Seems like it's just a gate. There's not too much on the top here. Just thinking about climbing up and seeing if I could see anything. But
Do you want to climb it?
sure, I'll climb to the top of the gate.
If I recall, you've not climbed anything recently, have you?
No, I have not.
Let me get a athletics check from you. So, as you're climbing to make your way to the top of this gate, you have an incredibly easy time and with very little difficulty. Feels very much for you as if you are kind of just walking up the side of this, almost if it was just a steep set of staircases. But getting to the top, you will be able to see for probably about a mile or two in any given direction. You can see the site of Ravenloft behind you. You can see pretty much to the bridge over Sayre Falls that you all just came from. And you can see the entire road leading up to Ravenloft. From on top of it, looking off to the west, you can see a massive forest ahead of you. It extends pretty much in all directions from where you're looking. A little bit of a mountain range kind of south and west of you. Um, a long path into a valley kind of directly west of you. And you all are probably about like a mile or two away from a old windmill that seems to be set just outside of this forest, along the road. And you can see most of the windmill. It seems to be up on kind of a little hillock of its own. You have a pretty good sense at that point that that windmill is the same thing that seems to be located on your map as just that little kind of like, I feel like last week, again, I'm terrible with Tony and with James, but one of the two of you last week said it looked like a driveway. You guys have a pretty good sense of that's where the windmill is that little kind of like offshoot before it gets back into the forests. And then you can see, I feel like signs of Lake Zarovich in that you can see the forest up ahead, and you can see that there's almost like a null zone in the actual canopies of the trees before you see like the climbing of the mountains on like the north side of Lake Zarovich. But again, everybody has this map. You all have had like 2 nights with it already. I feel like everybody should have a pretty solid sense that when you're looking off in that direction and you see that little like jump in the actual height of the trees, that you're looking at that area where it's the mountain that climbs behind Lake Zarovich is just kind of in view there.
And Hector also looks down at the road ahead to see if, it's a clear road and the party should we continue.
Before we go, I'd like to. Well, I'm just kind of looking around in the area just after finding that dress to see if there might be any fresh footsteps or cartwheels or anything like that I might notice.
You could do a perception. There seems to be pretty minimal traffic through these gates. As far as you can tell, doesn't seem to be any reason that that dress is there. There's no tracks that seem to be fresh. There's no cartwheels that seem to have come through here recently. There is absolutely no reason for a piece of fresh, nice clothing to be sitting here.
I think Hector's right. We should probably get moving. I don't see any signs of life, but I still don't trust the fact that we just found a dress in the middle of this forest and there was no one nearby or anything like that. We should probably try to find a shelter before it gets too dark.
If you guys are interested, I'll cast augury here and see if if we should take it.
Do you have the question in mind?
Will ill will befall us if we take this dress? Because it's only kind of a yes or no question, right? Or a yes or no answer.
Oh, and it's even more than that too, because it's for a choice that you're about to make within 30 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. Does the group have any opinion on it?
I don't think most of them would have any reason to know what it means for you to be able to do that. But I feel like as far as you go, it's probably a pretty solid time for you to cast it. This is what you do if you'd like to cast it.
All right, let's do it.
So is that what you're going for? Will any ill will come upon us for taking the stress?
Yeah, will anything bad happen from the removal of these clothes? And if we want to wait, I can cast it as a ritual and not do a slot. Or is it only a ritual? Because I can't just cast it.
Anything that you can cast as ritual, you can just cast.
All right. Well, I'd like to cast it as a ritual if the group's all right with that.
Everybody good hanging out here for like 9 minutes?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying the view up here of the windmills in the forest.
So let me get a d6 from everybody but Rin.
While we're here, I'd like to grind down some of that silver and iron that I got.
Also, while we're here, I would like to climb the tree to join Hector.
Make an athletics check for me, Thea. You can definitely like fill some space with grinding, but that's definitely one of those things like at nighttime you can knock that out. But like 10 minutes isn't really going to serve you much good.
Okay. So I'll just sharpen my tools then for later.
I think when you finish this, you're going to get kind of a null result. The results don't really seem to be especially good, nor do they seem to be especially bad.
Well, excellent. It's closed.
So when she finishes with that, I guess Sinmorn as well as Hector. Let me get athletics or acrobatics as you two climb down. But the group is ready to proceed forward.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So as you all are walking now to the west of this gate, the last person to walk through the gate is going to be kind of swiftly followed by like a burst of air as these doors slam shut behind you. And there is a loud crash as everybody would then notice that the doors were open for you and the doors closed for you. You are now shut out on some level from going back in that direction. But just another one of those moments where everything's leading you where you're going. And it feels really awkward to imagine, are we making choices? Or is Strahd leading us where he wants us to go? But as you all kind of push forward, you're going to start to kind of go down maybe like a 15-20 degree incline as you're walking out of this range of mountains and into the valley that slowly weaves down towards this windmill and eventually towards Vallaki. But if I can, let me get another survival from Debbie and Ali, please. So you all do pretty well passing these next few hours as you're kind of like walking downhill. Everything goes pretty well. Ali's pretty good about noticing spots where there's effectively like scree and kind of like dangerous areas where it's definitely easier to pick up a mechanical injury and kind of keeps everybody out of danger. Probably about an hour or two into this, you all are going to start to notice that there's a little human seems to be pushing a cart ahead of you, and they seem to be approaching kind of like that last little bit of the zigzag before they would get to the little house here. But you all are kind of like roughly around that area when you spot this human, probably like, say, half mile ahead of you.
I'll call out to him. Excuse me. You over there in the distance. And I'll just wave at him and see what he does. See if he'll let us catch up to him.
While Rodney is calling out to him, I'd like to draw on my years of working in a smuggling crew and try to get a read on this person, just like reading body language, just like perception, and see what vibe they're giving off.
Gotcha. You can roll a perception. As far as things go, doesn't appear to be a smuggler. It seems to be somebody who's maybe moving something from place to place. They seem to have a wheelbarrow, but you've got a pretty good view on them. And this appears to be the little old lady that you all met a couple nights back, leaving Barovia when she was heading into Barovia. This is probably Morgantha, the woman who Koopa got his nice little pastry from. Um, she kind of like looks back towards you all and gives like a little like wave of her hand as she acknowledges you all. And you can see as she kind of like takes a moment to take a little bit of a break and wait for you all to catch her up.
I remember her from not too long ago. Her pastries were delicious. I say we go meet up with her.
I am always down for delicious pastries.
Well, she didn't poison you last time, so maybe I'll get one this time.
Her name's Gupta.
So as you all approach, she's just kind of sitting off on the side of this little trail, and you're going to approach and see she's got her little wagon still, which was what she was pushing, and she's just kind of like hunched over off on the side, sitting on like kind of the higher end. I feel like it would be the northern side of the road. So her legs are like a little bit lower, and she's almost like looking like to her left to see you all coming from the east. And if she looks to her right, she'll see the windmill off to her west. But as you all approach, hello, all. It's a pleasure to see you on the road again. And she's going to look specifically to Koopa. Oh, are you already ready for a little bit more? Have you enjoyed your dreams?
Yes, those pastries were delicious last time. Can I have another one, please? A cherry.
Oh, but of course, I have just a few cherries left. Oh, 1 gold?
Sounds fair to me.
Do you have any boysenberry?
I do indeed have a boysenberry. 1 gold, please.
Very well.
So, where are you headed? Do you happen to be headed to Vallaki?
No, I must return, see my sisters. We have more baking to do. I might be in Vallaki in a few days here.
Ah, I see. So you're headed back towards Barovia then.
No, I'm all finished in Barovia. Nearly sold everything.
Ah, so you are following the road towards Vallaki. You're just saying it's going to take you a couple days to get there.
No, I have to bake more first. My sister and I, And she's going to point out to the windmill. We own the old windmill here, and we do all of our baking.
Do you ever shelter travelers on their journey, or house?
There's lots of things that our home is good for. But sheltering a lot of people is not always ideal. Three little old ladies, we must be careful who we invite in.
That is a very smart move. However, I believe we'd be willing to pay if we could possibly stay at your place for the evening and eat some delicious pastries.
The pastries we have, yes, you could stop by. We do not, though, have room to house so many. You could still make your way to Vallaki this night, though they shut the gates at the setting of the... She kind of like looks up to the sky. The rising of the moon.
Oh, thank you for this information. Your pastry is delicious.
Do you happen to know if there might be anywhere else that might be hospitable if we're not able to make it to Vallaki before sunset?
The roads are dangerous there. Not hospitable. But the gates of Vallaki should shelter you. If you won't make it before sunset, you may want to rush.
I see. Well, thank you so
Uh-huh.
much for this information.
Pitter patter. I think we should get going.
Let's get at her.
So I need Koopa to make, I believe, a wisdom saving throw. Oh yeah. Once again, you're going to have very, very nice dreams, but Koopa is addicted to these. You are going to need more of these pastries, my friend. You need many more of these pastries.
Those are some really good pastries. They're delicious. Can I buy a ton of them now?
No, my bad. That's more of like a way to not forget. I'm trying to see how fast it sets in. I'm pretty sure once you have two is kind of when it kicks in, but
Wait, before you determine the outcome, can I re-roll with a luck point?
yes, you can.
Thank you.
Failing rolls is when fun stuff happens. Be wary when you guys are using luck points. avoiding everything that happens is not the point of this game. But you all can continue on into your walk here. Let's get another set of survivals from Debbie and Ali. So as you all are pushing forward, you're going to kind of cross past Morgantha, and you continue down further and further into this valley here. And as you're kind of following the road and pushing on towards Vallaki, um, there's going to be a point where, as the party is traversing this area, you're going to hear a little bit of a crack from the west, and I would like you all to place yourselves on this map.
And Arena is with us, right?
Yes. Who are we missing right now, though? Theo? So you all can roll initiative, select your miniature, and click to roll initiative there.
What button you click to get it to do right from the screen?
To do what?
How do? You said you can do initiative right from our character screen?
No. If you click your character beforehand, it adds you into initiative when you roll it.
My Beyond 20 just doesn't like this to sync in automatically, apparently.
I don't think mine went into the turn order. Or do you do that, Mara?
Nope, that's what I mean. If you click your token, that's what I meant by miniature. When you roll initiative, it should do it automatically.
Oh, okay, I clicked it from the sheet, so that's probably why.
Yeah, you click your icon and then roll on D&D Beyond.
Oh, it took my 20. It just took a minute.
Nope, that's me.
Oh.
Everybody, and then
I just finished setting you all up. I have to do the monsters still.
oh, no worries. I didn't want everyone to be waiting on me.
Monsters. What would attack us in this fine green field?
So, out of the forest to the west of you, there's going to be a incredible like stench that kind of like seeps over you as you hear this cracking twig, and moments later there is a creature that's kind of walking out, not necessarily running, but it's definitely not just like meandering. It seems to have a little bit more of a purpose behind it. But as it comes out from the west, it is going to kind of like moving forward and claw out at Ali. And it should hit right there. It is going to do 8 slashing damage as it cuts across you, and I need a Constitution saving throw from Ali.
I'll definitely do a lucky there.
Gotcha.
Do you want me to roll again, or do you just want to take the advantage?
Never. You roll again. You do not get to see a 20 and then say, I'm going to take a lucky.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to check.
So as it comes out and it claws out at you, you're going to feel for a moment as your muscles start to clench up. But as you start to kind of fight through the pain, you're going to kind of retain yourself. And it's going to go to, offhand, Edwin, Rin. The two of you can take your turns at the exact same time if you would like. Otherwise, you are welcome to choose who goes first or who goes second. But if you all take your turn at the same time, you can kind of do stuff as a team kind of thing. In the future, part of what I would say with that is when you notice you have the same initiative as somebody, like text between yourselves on Discord so you can kind of plan what you would like to do.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, appreciate the heads up.
So which token are you? Oh,
Two of you are
you're
at
you're the ball guy. Are you going to take a ranged attack? I would think
I'm a sorcerer, so yeah, that's kind of all I got.
perfect. So me too. So I think I'd like to kind of cast magic missile, all 3 shots at that target. Uh,
Roll one more. What is Edwin doing?
Edwin will. Is who are they? Would they block line of sight in front of me there?
Anybody who's in front of you blocks like some of your view. It doesn't necessarily block the entire line of sight. What are you trying to do?
No, it seems more obvious that Rin would have a gap between the rest of our party than I would, so I was just gonna move first to get a better angle.
Rin can't miss with magic missile. Everybody could be around that creature. There could be a wall of creatures in front of her, and magic missiles hit.
All right, I'll just make it simple and cast magic missile myself then. First level.
So, 2 more.
Shenanigans.
So as this creature crashes out of the forest to the west of you, in an instant, your 2 casters react in the same way, and with 6 quick hits, this thing is blasted by these 6 little darts that just slam into it. And if there will be any movement from you 2, you are welcome to. Otherwise, it will go to Ali, and I need a Constitution saving throw to start your turn, Ali. So the stench of this creature is horrific, but you are now immune to its actual negative effects.
Wonderful. The first thing that I'm actually going to do is I'll go ahead and I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on this thing.
So as you cast Fairy Fire, it is going to glow as it kind of shimmers in the little dim light of the day. What color is your Fairy Fire?
I'm going to say it's a glowing red.
Gotcha. So this creature is glowing red.
And then I'll go ahead and hit it with an ensnaring strike as my bonus attack. And that's a DC 13 for strength. So close.
Wait, you can't even cast that. Once you cast Fairy Fire, you can't cast another spell.
Why not?
It's part of spell casting. I think it's like 248 in the PHP.
Yeah, because it's concentration based.
Well, even regardless of concentration, if you cast a spell, you cannot cast another leveled spell. If you cast a bonus action spell, you can only cast a cantrip that takes an action. But you cannot use 2 leveled spells in the same turn.
Got you. So I can't cast a bonus action cantrip. I can only cast a bonus or a regular action cantrip.
You could bonus action ensnaring strike and then cast the cantrip, but you cannot do a bonus action cantrip, which I think there's only like 2 or so of those.
Okay. Sorry about that. In that case, what I'll go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and is I'm gonna move away from this thing. I'm gonna move back towards the group.
Gotcha. It is going to strike out at you. It should hit you again. And I need another Constitution saving throw. It's going to do another 10 slashing damage to you. Actually, this will be 2 Constitution saving throws. The first one against its claws. Second one to hold concentration. So you're not paralyzed. That's the one that matters probably the most. But Fairy Fire is going to drop.
All right, I'll get way back.
Here, Nodi, what would you like to do?
So if I see this going down, I'm going to kind of move up north here. And then I am going to use a cantrip. Sacred Flame. So as I point at this creature and some flames come down from the sky, things happen. Some fire comes down.
Any other movement from you?
Nope, that is going to be it at the moment. Did it appear to have any effect on the monster?
I burnt it.
That's what I was going for.
Did our magic missiles have effect on it?
They pinged into it.
They what into it? I'm sorry.
Pinged. They hit it.
Okay.
And with that, when Ali casted that, does that mean we all roll advantage on this or no?
No, when he stepped away and got hit, he lost concentration on Fairy Fire, so it drops.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, Fairy Fire is concentration. Was doubting myself for a second there. Yeah, so this other one is going to charge out. I think it's going to go for Arena. And as it strikes out, it is going to miss and just kind of plink off of her armor. And that will take it to Hector.
Okay, and can I do a perception check of this creature to get as much detail as I can about its appearance and what it looks like?
What are you looking for here? Do you want more than just like a description of what you're seeing? Do you want to use your action to try to figure out what's going on here and take a deeper look?
Yes, I'd like to burn my action to take a deeper look.
Gotcha. Roll a perception check. So from what you can tell, the creature that's kind of like charged out here and attacked Ali seems to be a sort of almost like plague-bearing dead creature. Between the stench of this, actually, I think you're close enough that I need a saving throw from you too. Nope. Between the stench of this creature and just its overall appearance, it's a pretty horrific beast. But any movement from you or a bonus action?
And last, asking the details. How's this creature walking? Is it two-legged or?
Yeah, it's humanoid.
Hector draws, both swords. Or can I draw one sword?
You're limited to drawing one.
I draw my one sword and then ready myself to slash if the humanoid zombie comes near.
You can't ready an action. You use your action to try to get extra information.
All right, I just drew it. I'm not very ready. I'll just move right there.
So one of these creatures is going to close in and leap out with its claws first into Rin. Should hit with that. Rin, I need a Constitution saving throw from you. If you're thinking about shielding, that is a 19 to hit. I don't believe a shield would help you there. But you would know at least what it's hitting you with if it is. And that will be for 12 total hits. So, Rin, your muscles are going to freeze up. You are going to be paralyzed.
Great.
And that's actually going to change. I shouldn't have run it, because the moment Rin freezes up, this other creature is going to sense that. And it is going to run across without abandon, going for Rin. And that will take it to Debbie.
Do I get an opportunity attack since it ran past?
They did not leave your combat. You are in combat with those two creatures.
Got ya.
All right. Well, I am going to do what I do best and go into a reckless rage. And I'm going to run up on this one sort of in the middle here. So I'm within 5 feet of it. And just so everyone knows, if I'm within 5 feet, everybody should have a melee attack advantage.
So if you're going reckless, you yourself also have advantage on this attack here?
Yeah.
Going great axe?
Yep.
It's moving quite quick, and you are just on point that you are able to get a hit into this creature, and sink your axe into it. And I think you're still at 1 attack, so let's see. Unless you had more movement, I think that will be the end of your turn.
Yep, that's it. Actually, let me move a little bit closer to Ollie. Get right in the middle here.
Wait, are you moving away from the creature like that? Like you're going behind Ollie?
No, more like next to it, just like on the other side of it.
Gotcha. So that's going to take us to Sinmorn.
Alrighty. Okay, so using my strength, I'm gonna go Hog Wild on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna move over here.
$28 will hit. Leaving an arm off of this creature.
Awesome. And then I'm going to give which character is doing like direct combat with them?
I don't know what you mean.
Who's like I guess everyone's actively. I'm gonna go to I'm gonna tell Debbie, rip him to shreds and give her bardic inspiration.
Gotcha. Roll an extra d20 for me, Sinmore. The first creature to have come out is going to charge forward and into Edwin, striking out at you. I believe a 9's going to miss, and it will go to Edwin. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please, as the stench is just overwhelming you. Are you there, James?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to update. His internet like completely died. He's been frantically going around trying to reconnect it. I was suggesting he should just jump on Discord with his phone because at least then he could like hear and communicate with us. Should I just call him now and tell him to do that?
He's in here. Is he on his phone? Can you hear us, Jim?
I don't know if he has push to talk on his mobile device.
So let's push forward to Rin. What would you like to do, Rin?
So I'm paralyzed. Can I spend a sorcery spell to cast subtly with no SRV components?
My apologies, I forgot that you got that paralyzed. You are unable to cast spells because you can't speak.
But subtle spell allows you to do it without any verbal or any spoken or motion or hand motions, right? Because you
You're
can do it while you're
incapacitated.
all
Cannot
right.
move or speak. You are effectively unconscious standing up right now.
Nice. Looks like we got gems action.
Yeah. That was through me still. Let's see. I feel like at the end of your turn, Rin, you can do another Constitution saving throw. And then it's going to go to Ali. You will still be paralyzed. Right now, the creature that Debbie struck is looking incredibly wounded. The one that Debbie and Sinmorn have attacked, as well as the one that has now taken like 9 magic missiles.
So I'll draw my short sword with my off action, and then I'll go ahead and attack with that short sword into the most damaged foe. I can't remember if it's the top or the bottom one.
The northern one right now. If you attack that one, you have advantage. An 18 will hit.
Does that take it out, or is it still alive?
That will indeed kill it.
And then I think that's it for my turn, because I think with ensnaring strike I have to wait. I can use ensnaring strike because it's a bonus action. So with the ensnaring strike, would I just cast it, and then the next time I actually hit something is when it would actually do the ensnaring? Am I reading that right?
Yeah, effectively. You can cast that like before you attack, or like this, you can hit that one creature and then cast Ensnaring Strike and hold it.
Okay, I'll cast ensnaring strike, and I'm gonna aim it towards that like necrotic being, the one that first attacked me.
It's not even on something. It's you're holding it for the next time you hit. That's the creature you do it to.
Got ya. So that's what I'll prep.
And Cuppa, what would you like to do?
All right, I'm gonna run over to Rin. And I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration, which should get rid of her paralysis.
Gotcha. So you can cure the paralysis.
Get up. We need more missiles.
Thanks for that. I shake it off.
And that's going to be the end of my turn.
One creature is going to charge into Ali and try to claw at him. And it's going to go to Hector.
I'm going to cast Bane on all three of these characters. Did I actually cast? Did I hit the right button there? I think it did.
Yep, that casts it. Any other movement from you?
I believe all my actions are taken with that spell, so I'm fine not moving. I'm just going to stay put.
This one is going to move forward and claw out at Sinmorn, and that should miss. And it's going to go to Debbie.
All right. Well, I am full on bardically inspired. So I'm gonna go after this one between the one that just attacks Sinmorn and smash it with the great axe.
Going reckless.
Yes.
Gotcha. You can have advantage. No reason to use your inspiration there, but you will do 7 slashing damage to it. That is going to mortally wound this one. Any movement from Debbie. Otherwise, it's going to Sinmore.
Did Debbie use Bardic Inspiration for anything?
She didn't really need to.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sorry, that was it for me. Go ahead.
Okay. I am going to attack the creature right in front of me.
Roll another d20. The always set to roll with advantage is a very key thing to do. If you all can adjust that in your beyond 20, like how that's set up, Debbie is going to give you all advantage on a regular basis. But roll the damage with that longsword strike. I don't even think you can not kill that one. Any movement from Sinmorn?
No.
Is James back in the chat? Can you hear us from Edwin? Can you hear right now, Edwin? The creature is going to run across and attack Hector. I don't think you have Warcaster, but you can make like a melee attack. Effectively like unarmed strike, or if you have like a walking staff, you know that.
Brendan stepped away for a hot second.
Gotcha, it's gonna miss him anyways. Yeah, so make a dagger attack, Edwin. Oh,
back
okay,
on
I
my
gotcha.
laptop. An attack happened. What do I need to do?
Nothing. Just missed you. So what are you going to want to do on your turn, Edwin? Yeah, right now you have a clear line of sight on the one that just ran away from you. And it is mortally wounded.
That's the one next to Hector.
Yes, it was. You definitely can blast it. And yeah, it's the one that's next to Hector now. I think he's just going to roll, or like, do you want to do just like a firebolt? Is that what you're thinking, Jim? And then, Rin, what do you have in mind? What do you think you'll be doing? You've still got one creature that's behind Ali and kind of scrambling in to attack him, or beyond Sinmorn.
All right, I'm gonna try something new, guys. So I want to take my movement and move over. Oh, no, not like that though. I want to move over here, and then I'm going to use my 2 sorcery points for a bonus action spell. Right. So I'm going to use that to do.
One thing to consider here, you have sorcery points, a couple of them, per long rest. This fight is in your favor right now. Do you really want to use resources?
No, but yeah.
All right, go for it.
No, I'm not. No, it's fine. It's fine. Um, I'm going to take a step back so I'm not right next to it, and then I will go ahead and cast all 3 magic missiles at that
Same
one.
idea. That's still resources. It's part of what I mean. At this point, this is a perfect time to cantrip that and let the party finish it off with stuff that isn't limited.
Firebolt it is. Firebolt on the one to the left of Ollie.
There's only one left. Yeah.
Oh, there.
Solid hit. And that will go to Ali.
All right, I'll just draw out my other sword, and I'm going to go ahead and make a attack with my short sword.
So that will hit, and that will proc the ensnaring strike.
So is that a 12 for the strength save?
It's the 12 pre-modifier, but you have a pretty solid idea that that creature is able to break free of the ensnaring strike.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was just about to ask. And then with the damage, is it still up?
Oh wait, never mind. I met it perfectly because I've got a +1 strength with Bane on it. It's a -1 to 4. It's gonna fail, so it will be ensnared.
Okay.
What was your question to follow?
If it's, I guess it's still up and alive, right? After the
Yeah.
attack. Okay.
And a couple you're gonna follow here.
All right, I'm gonna cast Sacred
Wait, hold
Flame.
on. I just mean once he actually does it. But yeah, if you know Sacred Flame, once Ali finishes his turn, you can definitely throw that out there.
So I'll go ahead and, since I have that second sword out, I'll just go ahead and attack it once more with my sword.
Let's see that Sacred Flame. That will take it into mortally wounded. Anything else from Kappa?
Nope, not this time.
Creature's going to slash out at Debbie. And it is going to crit. It's going to deal 17 slashing damage, so you will take 8 slashing damage, Debbie, and I need a Constitution saving throw from you. And I don't believe it can possibly last through the rest of this, so you all can hack that creature to pieces. And I need to take a restroom break, so let's take a little bit of a break here as you all clean up this little bit of a battle.
Good work, guys. No one died today.
Woo!
Nice to have a barbarian around.
Yeah, to have a barbarian back.
Thanks for unparalyzing me.
Thanks for missiles. That's all we need. Figured if I should be a medic, probably start doing medic things.
Yeah, I'm glad that you had that spell, because I was wondering that as soon as she became paralyzed, I was like, I wonder if there's anything that can like unparalyze her.
I have that. I have a new spell. The enhance ability, where you can give like the Bull's Endurance 2d6 of additional Constitution for the duration of the spell, or up to an hour. And so it's Bull's Strength, Cat's Grace. So I was going to get all, just try those out, but it was at the end of the fight.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I mean, it's smart to save them, especially if we were winning like that, because we're about to. I mean, who knows when we're gonna rest and what the heck is next.
Yeah, definitely save as many spell slots as possible. It kind of sucks because we'd still have to possibly get an opportunity attack, but when I get that ensnaring strike, that thing becomes restrained and it can't move. So we could like technically walk away from it, and every time that a new turn happens for it, it actually will take a d6 worth of damage from being restrained.
Restrained also gives you all advantage when you're attacking it.
That is also true.
Did everybody basically stay at their computers there?
Yep, Theo and I are here.
Yeah. Or I don't know. I did.
I'm reconnected. For how
Excellent.
long? We shall see.
Welcome back, Jim.
They scare you that much, man?
No, they cast Comcast and it was super effective.
That's pretty funny.
So as you all finish up killing some of these creatures, very clearly undead, very clearly stinky, rotting, fleshy corpses, you all can push back along this route, making your way basically into this valley of Vallaki. Let me get another round of rolls from Ali and Debbie. So as you all wind through these passages, you're going to eventually actually enter into the forest that is leading towards Vallaki. More or less as you kind of get to that kind of like most northern point of the road, you're getting far more into like the rolling hills of the valley that you've already descended down out of these mountains. So there's still like a little bit of a descent still to happen in these last few miles that you'll be walking here. But by kind of the point where you get to this clearing near Lake Zarovich, that's basically where pretty much all of the hills of this area are now behind you. That to turn around and go back towards Barovia is very much an uphill climb. And most of this is going to go pretty seamlessly. There are many different points in this trail, in this walk, where you are passing over canine footprints. You hear howls from wolves or other canine creatures. There's definitely kind of an increased level of worry and preparedness. I think as a reminder, you all don't necessarily have any reason to be peaceful travelers on this road, and with a constant howling of wolves, it might be best for people to actually be prepared to battle and to heed the warnings that everybody tells you. These roads are dangerous. Be prepared for terrible things to happen. And that's kind of my way of reminding you, like, perhaps you want to figure out when is best to put away your weapons, but to travel with your weapons out. And the wolves will certainly psychologically remind all of you that this is not the time to be peaceful travelers. This is a great time to protect yourselves. But I think we are going to kind of get you all towards that valley. And let me get one more roll from Debbie and Ali. So as you all push forward through this much more level ground, you're going to cover a good bit more area. There's going to be sporadic homes along this route. Most of them don't seem to show any sign of any actual life, but you do start to pick up that there is life closing into where you're going, or at least you are closing into where this life is, until eventually you all will see the gates of Vallaki off in the distance. As you come up, there are maybe like 6 or 8 houses on the outside of this actual gated area, before you see a... This is a massive map. Oh, and I have it darkened. Whoops. There is an incredibly large palisade ahead of you, built up from large tree stumps and effectively like full kind of trees, almost like telephone pole kind of size trees, with like a 40-foot wall and a couple of castled actual stone defensive positions that are on either side of the actual gates. And you all are approaching where it's going to get into the darkness of night, but you are still ahead of it. The gates are still open. You can see guards on top of the actual palisades and a couple of guards standing out front. And if you look way to the east and kind of central, I have at least a little bit of it revealed right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the group and say, let's get moving. I think we should get inside the walls before night. What do you think? As I keep moving, not stopping.
Agreed.
I'm with you. Let's keep on going.
So as you all approach this city and kind of like walk through the gates, you see. Let me get a perception check actually from the group here. Sinmorn's gonna pick up that there's about 7 guards on this actual post here. They're able to pick up that there's 2 on each of these towers, and there seems to be like 1 at the actual gate, and then you kind of pick up like the 2 that are a little bit less visible that are kind of like inside of the actual guard houses. And then you're able to spot that there are 2 guards probably about like 100, 200 feet to the south that are just inside of the palisade. And basically pick up this idea that while they have guards stationed at these actual entrance points, the palisades also have guards who are traveling around them as well. But for the general size of Vallaki, you have a pretty good sense that this is not a well-defended city. Certainly not necessarily as defensive as to be safe for the situation that is at hand. But you all should have a pop-up there of the city of Vallaki as you walk into this area. You all can see this is the general kind of like triangular shape of this city. You are walking in the morning gate, and then you have the northern gate as well as the western gate. The town basically comes into a central point, kind of like as an equilateral triangle. Not equilateral, but if you make like 3 triangle like pie pieces out of the town, you can see kind of like the central point of town. The actual town square is in that kind of southern portion of it, and some of the larger houses are down in that area. But as you pass through the town itself, you are going to see plenty of whoops. I harvested this map from another game. Why would you burn that house down? Um, you all will see plenty of really nice houses, plenty of rundown pieces of shit. There is a stark difference in this place of nice homes to like very poor living conditions, and there's next to nothing in between. Among, for what it's worth, since I have it named, among the first things that you all are going to see is this actual like large estate off to the north, about a quarter of a mile into Vallaki. It is currently named Vasilis Estate. That is an extremely ornate Gothic home. It is quite large. It has many buildings kind of attached to it. But overall, it is an absolute beautiful mansion. Um, Passing through and into this town, you're going to see that kind of right across the street from that mansion is the road that leads into the actual town square. And the town square is kind of like a little bit of like the hustle and bustle of this town, but otherwise it is pretty quiet as you all are getting close to evening here. And there's not necessarily a lot of choices where you might go on this initial path. Um, the actual area kind of on that like southern big little wonderful words, um rotunda is coming to mind. That is the wrong word, but like when you have like a circular area, that circular area south of Vasilis is just kind of like a bunch of like rundown homes, and it's very clearly kind of like a like tent city slash like slums area of this town. It's among kind of like the lowest portions, and you can have at least a little bit of sense. It's almost like kind of like a swampier area, but still within the city's gates. But as you all are progressing forward, what kind of things do you have in mind as you're entering into the city?
I'm gonna be a little bit on guard, and I'll tell people like, "There's guards around, not well guarded, but just watch yourself."
Let me get a perception check from you, Theo. 7 more. As you kind of like heighten your senses a little bit, you're going to see a couple of like pieces of paper scattered across the ground, and you can spot a little advertisement for the Festival of the Blazing Sun, as well as a little advertisement for a bounty on wolves.
I say, "Oh, this is interesting. Something we can attend later today," and I pass the flyers to the rest of the party.
This is weird. Haven't been in a real town since we've entered these woods. I don't trust much of it anymore.
Did you see this? It says attendance of children is required, rain or shine.
That's kind of a weird requirement.
Like, sorry, you gotta drag your kids out here, regardless of how they feel.
As Ali says this, somebody's going to kind of like move close to you and not really trying to speak out loud. They're just going to kind of whisper, just like in your personal space. But this person's just going to kind of like move up close to you so that you're almost like feeling the muscles as they're walking alongside of you. The Virgo Master is not a kind man if you speak so ill. Be happy. And then as they kind of like step away from you, they're just going to like put on a very fake smile. All will be well, and walk away.
Okay. I'm just gonna check my pockets really quick just to make sure he didn't take anything.
Roll a perception check. Going through real quick on your pockets, you do not feel like you've lost anything.
Um, I'll yell back out to him as he's walking away. Excuse me, stranger. Would you happen to know where travelers might be able to find board for the night?
Roll a persuasion. They're just going to kind of like look over their shoulder, and in like a nonchalant, almost kind of like brushing you off. The Blue Water Inn, center of town. Follow the old Svalich Road.
All will be well. I'll just wave back at him. All right, it looks like we found the inn. It's the Blue Water Inn. Does everybody want to go get some rest or do some drinks, or do you want to do some investigating? What are we feeling, guys?
I say we go check out this festival. It seems like they don't like Strahd here, but I bet he rules here as well.
Yeah, let's check it out.
So it won't take you long to either just like kind of follow the sound of the town, or just asking people where the actual town square is to locate it, and you all can kind of start to head in that direction. You will hear again kind of like the sounds of some of the last business of the day, as people are selling their wares and more or less kind of collecting up some of the last bits. But this whole kind of area, kind of like, oh, I've got this entirely blacked out. This whole kind of area is just kind of like alive with merchants as they set up in these central little parts, kind of circling around this actual fountain. And at this point, there are two people that you can see inside of this stockade, where there can be room for. No, I said that wrong. There are two people in the stockade on the north side of the square, and there is a gallows that has space for four people. But at present, it seems to be empty of people, and there seems to be a couple of people walking around the gallows, but not necessarily like looking like a hangman or looking like somebody who is being punished.
Guess I'll walk up and approach, just kind of walking towards town and walking over towards the people.
Like the people on the gallows.
Yeah, I'll go towards the gallows people. They give me, I'm reasonably suspicious of them.
They seem to be having a conversation between themselves. What are you doing when you get close to them?
I'm just gonna kind of see if I can observe their conversation, see if they have any interest in engaging me or chatting. Or if they're just
Roll a
being
stealth
rude.
check. What armor is Kappa in? Are you at disadvantage?
Scale mail.
I
Yeah,
feel like
I am
that's
at
disadvantage. Can you roll one more? They just kind of continue on with their conversation. They don't even necessarily acknowledge that you're kind of like too close, and they certainly don't seem to be thinking of the fact that you are listening to them. Let me get a insight from you. So, as you are listening to their conversation, you pick up they seem to be event planners. As they kind of go on about this, they are talking about the sun that they are going to basically be placing on these gallows. And you're reasonably sure that these are, on some level, the event planners for the festival of I already forgot the name of it. The Burning Sun. The Blazing Sun. And they're basically like going about their business. Part of why maybe they are not skeptical of you listening is that anybody in the town really should know. But they seem to be kind of going on their kind of just on their way. But more or less their conversation seems to be them planning, like, if we hang the sun from here, uh, what do we think it'll damage if when we do burn it, if we do this? And they seem to be planning for this event. And it will be coming up soon. I'd say you roll pretty high with that. You're reasonably sure it's within this week. And it seems to be at the end of the week. I don't think you all necessarily have a reason to understand the actual, like, calendar of this place yet. I guess for what it's worth, when you were with Ismark, I think that's something that could have come about. So you guys have a reasonable idea that you probably have 3 more nights until this event happens. My bad. Tonight. And then it's like on the 3rd, at the end of this week, on, what is that? The 7th.
All right. So I'm gonna just kind of wait here and let someone else go.
You said that there were some merchants around the town square, right?
Yep, you've got different people who have things like kind of root vegetables, and different wares and whatnot. But yeah, there's merchants.
Okay, and then let's see here. Does anybody happen to be selling like meat or anything?
Roll a D100. As you kind of like make a few rounds around this area, it doesn't take you too long to find somebody who seems to be a meat merchant. Approaching them, perhaps Ali would have like less hesitancy than a lot of people like modern ages would. But you're reasonably sure most of the meat that is hanging here is rodent, and it was probably killed way too early in this day for you to necessarily be extremely interested in having it. But you can see a few steaks that seem to be larger, and are certainly from a beast that is not something that crawls on the ground and carries plague.
All right. Excuse me, sir. We're new to town. Could you happen to tell me, do you have a storefront, or is this your storefront here in the town square?
This is where I do my business. Well, what can I help you with?
Well, perhaps not right now, but I saw this flyer earlier, and I'll show him the flyer of 10 pieces or whatever for the wolf if we kill him. I was thinking possibly coming back later to get some meat before we head out to maybe hunt some wolves later. So I just kind of wanted to get an idea if this is where you regularly are and what times of business, what time your business usually is open.
Oh, I can't pay that for wolf. That's the Virgo Master who will pay for the wolves.
Yes, yes, I see. But I was thinking of using, well, your fine goods here to perhaps lure some of these wolves in the forest.
I'll be closing up shortly here. You're planning on going out at night? They'll
Um,
close the gates.
I was actually considering possibly tomorrow, but I just wanted to get an idea if you would be back here in the morning.
Every day of my life, I'm here.
Excellent. And what's your name?
Arlyle.
Arlisle. It's a pleasure to meet you, Ali. Um, by chance, would you happen to be able to tell me where I might actually find, things for adventuring, perhaps like swords, uh, armor, those kinds of things? Is there anywhere in town that specializes in that?
Uh, you may find some things at Arasax, but armor and weaponry is not very common. But perhaps you might find something old there.
I see, I see. And what about tomes, things for arcane magic? Is there anybody that specializes in those things, or possibly runes here in town?
I think you might have the most luck with Blinsky. I believe he'll have those things for you.
Thank you so much. And it was a pleasure talking with you. I hope we might be doing business again here soon. With that, I'll just walk away from it and head back towards the party and let them know about our stacks and Blinsky in case anybody else was perhaps thinking about looking into things we can get. What are you all thinking? You want to go get some rest and perhaps in the morning go get go looking for some wolves? It seems like we might be here a few days if we're going to wait for this festival.
I say we shouldn't wait. Strahd's always watching. You want to go talk to the Virgo Master?
I can feel that boysenberry percolating in my stomach, and I was promised pastry dreams.
Yes, I believe she said she would be here in a few days if we want to wait for Margupta to bring back her delicious pastries as well. But yes, perhaps it would be good to meet with the Virgo Master to see what everybody means by he is not the most friendliest person.
All right. You guys want to go see the Virgo Master?
I'm down for the Virgo Master.
Lead the
Let's do
way.
it to it, y'all.
To the Burger Master.
Burgers for days.
So as you all are heading out of the town square, let me get a perception check from everybody. As you all are heading for kind of like the south exit, like the southwestern side of the town square, headed kind of around towards where the Virgo Master, Baron Vallaki lives. Edwin is going to spot a little kid who seems to have like run from the direction that you all are passing, and they just kind of disappear behind some houses. And it's just in like that last moment where you last saw him, you swear that you've seen the little bag that he was carrying. Um, Hector had been carrying it at some point. But as you bring that up, Hector is going to kind of look through his things and notice that some of his gold is missing.
If I caught that correctly, I just got pickpocketed or something? What's going on?
Indeed. As you all pass around kind of this southern side of the town, as you kind of like wander into this area, these are going to be still small houses, but a little bit nicer quality. And you can see as they kind of lead forward until as you start to move back like northward along this looping road, you're going to see a large building that could be like an entire town hall of government functionary. And as you come forward to it, it is very clearly this is the Virgo Masters, as some of the town folk has described to you. Um, and you all can head off and go knock on the door or make your entrance.
I say we let Debbie lead the way. It's always impressive having an orc walk in first.
Tally ho.
Hector is hot right now and wants to speak his damn mind to this burgomaster.
What do you all have in mind?
We're going to find Hector's stuff.
How would you like to do that?
Say, let's walk in and introduce ourselves to the Burgomaster. So, I guess I'll enter the Great Hall and introduce myself. It's not that. I'll introduce myself as Kappa and say I'm a weary traveler, and these are my friends, and we're passing through. Then ask him if he's aware of all the thievery in his
Hold
city.
up. As you walk into this house, you can open the door and walk on in. There's nobody there. You're just standing in kind of a waiting room. You can hear a large amount of conversation, and one voice that kind of stands above them all, and it's a woman's voice. And every few moments, you hear her just kind of laughing in this like piercing laugh that's just. And then there's like a bunch of conversation, and then you hear. But you all are otherwise standing in kind of like a foyer. There is a hallway in front of you. The voices seem to be coming from that hallway ahead. But what would you like to do as you walk into this home uninvited?
Well, good idea bringing that intimidating hound, Kappa.
I thought it would let them know we're here.
Yeah.
Tell him, Brody.
So I say, I'll look at the tea or the party and say, I think we should make it known. And I'm just gonna start screaming, hello? Hello?
As you just kind of yell out for a few moments, Doesn't seem to be any response. You guys are just kind of waiting in this little entry area, and for whatever reason, nobody's coming to you. Nobody seems to hear you.
Hector throws 2 pieces of gold on the floor. Do you wish to steal some more? Or are you too cowardly to come out and face me?
So, as you all kind of just wait in this area, about 3-4 minutes go by where you just hear this ear-piercing laugh. And after a few minutes, coming down the stairway just to the just kind of beyond you all, you're going to see this person who's walking down in rather plain, kind of dark black clothing. They seem very well like polished, and everything is kind of organized, and you can tell pretty quickly that this is kind of like a major domo, like a butler of the house, and they're holding a small silver platter in one of their hands. The other hand is kind of straight down at their side, and in a little moment, they will notice you all to the side and kind of looking to you. Hello, welcome. Do you have an appointment?
Hector pulls out his cut gold sack and drops it on the floor in front of the butler. I believe we do.
He's going to reach down and pick up any of the gold that you've dropped there.
Hector pushes them away and grabs it back before he can steal more.
Do you intend this as a tip, or is there a riddle to be solved here? What, pray tell, is the meaning of this?
I assume the Virgo Master knows of all thieving going on in this city.
I think you'll find there is no thieving, for all will be well within the gates of Vallaki.
Right after he says that, I'll just say, all will be well. Fine day to you, kind gentlemen. Uh, yes, you see, we're actually new to town, and well, being a quite experienced adventuring party, we're hoping to make acquaintances with the Burgomeister in case we might have business during our stay.
Um, Perhaps even the very wise make poor choices. All will be well. Would you like to make an appointment with the Burgomaster?
Oh, why, yes, that would be excellent. All will be well.
And your business is regarding any work that you might find in town?
Indeed, that and an ongoing quest that we have. Perhaps information just regarding more information regarding the town, the festival, and other happenings. We figured, why go about town asking the peasants when we can go straight to the source and, of course, speak to
And
the
waste the
Burgomaster.
time of the Baron. Yes, I understand. Well, when you are ready, you can head on in here, and the Baron will be with you presently. And he is going to walk you all off towards the room kind of in the southwest there. And as he opens the door, it's going to become very clear where this cackle has been coming from. as you will see one woman who is extremely finely dressed, and about 5 other women who are less finely dressed, as well as 2 men who are also wearing something that's a little bit closer to rags than finery. But these 7 people seem to be inside of this room. All of them are weaving together these little reed bands, and the Major Domo is going to kind of usher you all in.
So, as we get in, I'll introduce myself and the party and just kind of see what I can find about the Virgo Master. What I'm primarily trying to see is where he gets his authority from. Is he appointed from Strahd without asking him
He's
directly?
not in here, so
Oh, he's
there's
not.
no
Okay.
Burgomaster in here. As you walk in, it's going to be very clear that the woman here is indeed in a seat of power. She possesses about the only power that these people might know. You can gather that very quickly. Everything she says, she laughs at, and all of the other people are fake laughing at her. And on a regular basis, as every sentence is finished, every sentence that she laughs at, she then says, "All will be well." So she'll like say something, she'll laugh at it, and then finish with, "All will be well," and then kind of goes on telling another joke. None of them are funny. She laughs at them, everybody fake laughs. She says, "All will be well." These people chant, "All will be well." This is a cult type of room that you all have just walked into. The butler is going to shut the door behind you with the entire group in here. And over the next few minutes, it's going to be awfully apparent that this woman is the Burgomeister's wife. She is on some level one of the individuals in power here. Um, I don't think anybody's going to use her name to where it becomes any more apparent. But as kind of things like go forward, um, you all will certainly understand that, like, these people are weaving things for the Festival of the Blazing Sun. None of them want to be here, but you can also kind of gather that the food that they're being served might be the largest reason these people are bearing this. But other than that, as you walk into this room, um, you all are basically invited to help, or you can basically wait and just kind of observe, but they're going to basically ask you to help pretty regularly here.
Well, these some freaks don't eat their food.
Drink no Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I myself will not be assisting with the weaving of anything. I'm just going to kind of stand off in the distance, not too guarded, but not looking very relaxed either.
I'm thinking about how good that pastry was and how I couldn't possibly have room for any cold food.
I preferred Strahd's cooking, Hector says sullenly, sulking in the corner, hoping the wife can hear it.
So at some point when you mention Strahd, everybody's going to get incredibly quiet, and she's going to kind of like calming for a moment. "We do not use the devil's name within the town of Vallaki. All will be well."
What do you call him if not Strahd?
"The devil is perfectly sufficient. All will be well."
At least the devil doesn't steal out from right onto your nose.
All will be well. My lady, it seems as though the devil has plagued your city for quite a while. Um, can you tell me, what enemies does he have here?
There is no plague on Vallaki. All will be well.
All will be well, yes, yes, yes. But in the chance that the city needs defending, perhaps you need a little bit of muscle. My party here would be
There
happy
is
to
no need to defend Vallaki. All will be well.
Well, sometimes things are not well.
Everything in Vallaki is perfectly fine. All will be well. And just so you guys know, every time I say this, there's 7 people who are following suit. This is a cacophony of all will be well, all will be well, all will be well.
Sounds a little Hatter Tea Party-ish.
Excuse me, ma'am, do you happen to have any tobacco?
She's going to look to you, and what I have and what you might require are 2 different things. It is above your station. And she'll point off to just kind of the things that are like set on the actual um uh like buffet. That if you are hungry or famished or thirsty, you are more than welcome to partake. All will be well.
Thank you, all will be well.
I'm gonna ask her, who appoints the Burgomaster, the Burgomaster around here.
Our family is among the oldest here in Barovia. They all came to power at a time when serving the lord of these lands was more pressing than other things.
How long have you been the Burgomaster's wife?
I was married when I was a mere child of 15.
Are you from Vallaki?
I am indeed. All of these would be followed with all will be well, by the way. It's really hard to keep up with.
Okay, we get it. All will be well. Why do you keep saying that?
Because, my dear, all will be well. And the 7 people all chant it right back to you.
And I'll just laugh after that.
How do most make their living in Vallaki?
Many farm what they can, some fish for what they are able, but predominantly we all are merely trying to survive in the best way we know how. And like as she kind of glares over at the others, like with a little pause in her voice, they all start this chant of all will be well.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
She's going to look towards you, and as she kind of sees what you're doing, she's going to yell for the guards.
Well, shit, fuck. Sorry guys. It just seemed off.
No, I'm excited to kill these people.
Hell
Let me
yeah!
come, then.
My man.
Are you going to continue casting Detect Magic?
Nope. Shit's fucked. Time to slaughter.
So I think that is a perfect time for us to stop, as you all have the guards hollered for you, and you all are apparently ready for bloodshed.
I've had enough chanting. I have my own demons that haunt me in my nightmares. I just need to get rid of these people.
Hector sits down in the Baron's chair at the head of the table, both swords in his lap.
Every chair at this table has a person in it.
Oh, I thought
There's
that
no-
had arrived.
I
Sounds
just
like a
didn't
problem
throw-
easily solved.
I thought there was a chair reserved just for the Baron, as he had not arrived yet.
No, you guys are in a working room. You're not in a room where the Baron's gonna come. You're probably starting to pick up on the fact that the butler was getting rid of you. He wasn't helping you all. So we're gonna pick up here, and apparently having some guards at a battle for the Baroness's life.
They don't know what they're in for.
World of pain.
It only ever takes a couple of all will be wells to get people who just want to murder them all.